Welcome to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. Each week, we have new episodes, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, thatbusinessnetwork.com, where we talk with inspiring entrepreneurs and business professionals each morning on the program. And we want to hear your story as well. Go to tbsinterview.com for more information for how to come onto the program. My guest today is Jack H.M. Wong. He's the founder and senior managing partner with WHM Consulting. So, Jack, welcome to the program today.
Yes, hi, good morning, Jamie. Thanks for having me on the show.
So, Jack, you have a long history of business development, working in law. You've authored a number of books. Let's take you through, how you came up, from a, just the average ordinary individual, working through businesses and to the person that you've become today, an internationally sought out speaker and presenter on a variety of business topics. But take me back to, the early days in your life in business.
Thank you, Jamie. I guess, first of all, let me disclose my age. I'm actually 48 years old right now. And contrary to a lot of people thinking they must start their business early, I wasn't. I actually started my business at the age of 42. And what happened was that when I graduated from school, from universities, I actually ended up having a job, job, working in the largest accounting firm, followed by the largest law firm for a combined 17 years. And in these 17 years, I actually had no moment of thought thinking of starting a business until something happens along the way.
And what was that thing that happened along the way? And it's inspiring to hear, at age 42 that you step into the world of entrepreneurship, because so many people, I hear them at age 25, 28, 30, oh, I'm too old for that, I'm too old for that. And it's like, no, you're not. You're never too old until you're dead. But go ahead and continue.
Exactly. Well, what happened was that when I first joined the accounting firm, during the interview, I asked the partner who is the interviewer one question. How long does it take to become a tax partner? Because I was in the tax services line. And the partner actually said 15 years. It sounded not long, but it's definitely not short.
Right.
So I was told that if I work hard, build my clients, and then basically get my promotion, eventually in 15 years, I'll become a tax partner.
So 15 years of hard work just to reach that level.
So yeah, exactly. However, 2 years down the road, what happened was that I had I'll call this a verbal aikido. I like to use the word. Actually, basically, is the fact that I have a quarrel, a dispute with one of the tax partners due to some differences in client's management. So it wasn't a very pleasant moment. And at the end of the day, I learned a big lesson. No matter how much time, how much I have invested in this firm, there's no such thing called job security or loyalty. No one, according to the partner, say is indispensable. So within the 6 months after this quarrel, I actually left the firm. I actually left the accounting firm. And interestingly, because of the mindset of an employee, it's very natural for me to move from one job to the other job. So that's how I ended up working in another law firm for another 5 years. So I was switching between the firms, the accounting firm and the law firms during these 17 years. And eventually I came to one point of realization. What's the point of moving around the circle in the employee zone? So I said, okay, I must make something different for my life. And therefore, at the age of 42, I said, all right, let's take a shot. Leave the firm, come out and do something. But that moment of thought was quite dangerous because when I tendered my resignation, guess what happened? I actually had no plan. It was just a moment of impulse, I would say, that, okay, I give 4 months notice, I'll get out of the place by the end of May 2011. But I hadn't had any plan of
what direction were you planning to go? A background in law, accounting, tax? Were you planning to do that? Did you know what you were even going to do? Talk to me about your initial thoughts on business.
Well, I was actually quite clear with tax being my career for the rest of my life because I actually like a lot on tax. Like contrary to people saying that it is a very boring subject, it is not. I can talk about taxation for one whole week nonstop. That's me.
Well, our tax code is a huge encyclopedia of knowledge and information. I can definitely see that. So, but it's not the type of thing that usually keeps an audience though talking about all those tax codes and everything. Go ahead.
That's right. Okay, so the thing is that I said to myself, okay, maybe instead of spending my time helping my clients, but I'm working for the firm, why not I come out to start my own business? And the first business that I started actually is a consulting business. And because of my forte, because of my experience of 2 decades of my tax experience, so logically speaking, that would be my first choice, being a tax consulting, running a tax consulting firm.
And then how did that business develop, and what did you learn from that business?
Okay, so interestingly, because I had no plan as to how do I get my clients, so I actually asked some of my friends who have already started their business a while ago, how do I actually get clients for consulting purposes? And they said, well, they actually had no idea. It's just their luck. They are able to get the clients. So
I see that a lot. I mean, it's a common challenge with coaches, consultants. They just go from client to client, but they don't really have a plan to keep that pipeline filled automatically.
Yep. So how did I get my clients? Well, first of all, I chanced upon this opportunity to have a training contract with one of the Singapore accounting professional bodies. Basically, I started off by training professional program with them. And whenever I had a room of people who are coming to learn tax knowledge, at the end, I use whatever I can to solicit unofficially these clients. And this is how I actually get my clients, starting from 0 clients to now a handful.
So you partnered with another firm, and then they would feed you the clients, and so that kept your pipeline full. Did I understand that correctly?
Well, actually, what happened was that this is an accounting professional body. It is like a national accounting body.
Okay.
And what happened is that the members belong to this accounting body have to attend courses to actually clock their hours for the professional development purposes. So they need trainers. So I actually applied, and I said, okay, what can I train? There's nothing else except tax. So I actually started training for them since September 2011. From no program to now, I've actually come up with approximately 15 programs. So in the last few years, what happened is that whenever I have any chance of going to this accounting body to do a training, I'll inspire the audiences, making sure they're happy with what I do and appreciate my experience. So at the end of the day, I leave them with the contact. And this is how I actually get my consulting clients.
And today you've mentored over 1,000 different top producing sales and business professionals. Is it still strictly talking about taxation, or do you still get into business development and other areas of entrepreneurship?
Okay, so this is a very good question. I started off with doing tax consulting because obviously I know nothing else except tax. But as an entrepreneur, I learned that knowing tax is not good enough because I need to know A, I need to know B, I need to know C. In particular, what it means is that I need to know marketing, I need to know how to run a business, I need to know how to get clients, I also need to know persuasion and sales. So at the end of the day, I've got to learn all this, and that's how I pick up the skills of sales, business development, and personal development in my few years of education, hardcore.
Where did you go to get the education on these other areas of entrepreneurship? The average tax accountant, or tax professional, I mean, that's all they think of is numbers, and they usually don't have a very, diverse personality to go out and learn the sales and the marketing and the entrepreneurship and all those other functions. How did you develop that side?
Well, interestingly, Singapore is a very popular place for seminars. Actually, every night there will be someone in Singapore running public workshops. So what happened was that I chanced upon a couple of workshops. One of them is actually meaning MI Intensive, MMI, run by T. Harv Eker, which is very popular. And that particular workshop, which I attended in September 2011, changing my life, simply because it gave me the tools of how to have a money blueprint. That's something that I didn't learn in school. At the same time, I had a chance to meet my coaches and mentors. They were then the trainers who are now my coaches and mentors. They actually taught me how to run businesses, at the same time, how to inspire people by doing training by actually inspiring many people. So training, sales, businesses, marketing, branding, these are all the things that I pick up.
And this is in a span of 6 years. You said you're 48, you started at 42, and you've done this over the past 6 years. You've had tremendous success just in that short time frame. From the time that you started, when did you feel comfortable that you had established yourself as an entrepreneur with your own business? How many years in?
3 years.
3 years, and you're ready to roll, and your pipeline was full, and you had it set on autopilot. You just had to develop the different areas of the business at that point?
Well, after 3 years, I actually started having one problem, and this is actually a good problem. The problem is that I have to start turning my clients away.
That's where you got to become more niched. Yeah, I mean, you get at first you cast a broader net, and then you learn that niche. And I got to take a break here, but we'll talk a little bit about how you determined that niche and how you learned to weed out different clients, because I think that's an excellent talking point when we come back from the break of something that a lot of people struggle with, how to turn away business effectively. But that's actually a great place to be at in your business. So I'm currently talking to Jack H.M. Wong. He's the founder and senior managing partner with WHM Consulting. Learn more at jackhmwong.com. We'll be back in a moment on That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Welcome back to That Business Show 2.0 with your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business. My guest today, Jack H.M. Wong, founder and senior managing partner with WHM Consulting. Learn more, jackhmwong.com. So, Jack, you're talking about how at age 42, you went into the world of entrepreneurship after a career in tax, accounting. 6 years later, you've mentored over 1,000 different business professionals in a variety of different business topics, starting with taxation, tax law as your primary source of of consulting. But today you're at a point where you are turning away clients. You're beginning to become even more niche. So how do you go about weeding out clients effectively and also making residual income off of them? You don't want to just say no. I mean, do you have a system to make some money through referrals? Tell me about this.
Okay, thank you. So essentially, I started off because I was so hungry for getting clients. So obviously, price is always the factor to determine that whether I can get the client. So at one point in time, I have too many clients to handle because I charge too cheap. Until one of my coaches said, was an epiphany at that point in time. He said, you should actually focus on high-end clients, not those low-end, low-quality clients. So he asked me, and this is something really amazing. He said, how much are you charging right now? I said, well, $200 an hour. And the coach actually was shocked a while. And he said, okay, add one more zero behind. I said, what? Add one more zero behind from 200 to become $2,000. So just do it. Yeah. So interestingly, just after I have added one more zero, within a month, I got my first $2,000 an hour client.
Wow.
Oh my God. It really worked. So since then, I've actually focused on high-end consulting. Basically, I do not compete with other tax accountants who are doing the low-end commodities such as filing tax return or filling up the questionnaires.
Did you have to adjust your marketing or your approach and your pitch to go from $200 an hour to $2,000 an hour, or did you just say, that's my price?
Well, basically, it's the coach request. Don't care what you do, you just add one more zero, because it is what we call a personal belief and a self-affirmation. Because if you see your value as $2,000 an hour, your clients will appreciate and will be willing to pay you that kind of amount. It is really the personal development that helped me a lot. Not so much about like what do I do it differently. At the end of the day, when I said 2,000, obviously I will have to deliver the value beyond, above and beyond $2,000 an hour. But the thing is that because I've been in this line for so long, I've already identified what I would call the unique selling proposition. It means that how am I different from other tax advisors in Singapore or internationally?
And what is your unique selling point? I mean, a lot of people struggle with that in their own. I mean, because, in business, I mean, it's very difficult to be different. How do you differentiate yourself?
Okay, so basically, I'm actually having an accounting degree and a law degree. So I always said that the tax as a subject is actually a hybrid of law and accounting. So if you compare Jack Wong with a tax accountants obviously know the numbers pretty well. So do I. However, what I know as compared to them is the analysis and the knowledge of how to deconstruct the tax code, so that we can help our clients to put forward a better position in case the authorities were to challenge. So this is how I compare with the tax accountants. At the same time, compare with the lawyers. So on par, I actually have tax knowledge, so as the lawyers do, but lawyers don't know accounting. Lawyers do not know what we call the debit and the credit or financial statement. However, I do. So basically, I fill the gap between the accountants and the lawyers and come to this very unique place where I can put my tax accountant cap, advising my clients on the tax accounting stuff, and then I put my tax lawyer's cap and basically help my clients to deconstruct and decode how the tax law should work for them. And I'm so proud that in Singapore, for example, out of 5.5 million of population, how many of us have this kind of so-called dual skill? There are only 200.
Wow.
And out of these 200 people, a lot of them actually are employees. I am an entrepreneur and running my own businesses. So when I'm working with my clients, I speak the business lingos. So therefore, I'm on top of those so-called tax lawyers and accountant mix, because I know how to run a business in the first place. I have the business knowledge that can supplement my tax technical skill and accounting skill. So that is my unique selling proposition.
Very good. A lot of people don't know their unique selling proposition. It's something I struggle with myself in the businesses that I work in too. So love hearing different people's perspectives on their way to differentiate themselves. Now you're also the co-author of the book Cracking the Entrepreneur Code. Let's talk a little bit about what the Entrepreneur Code is and what people can get out of this book. Tell me a little bit about the book.
Sure. Cracking Entrepreneur Code is actually my second book. And this book is basically a reflection of my journey of the first 3 years of entrepreneurship from a place where I have nothing June 2011 to 2015. What have I gotten in these 3 years of entrepreneurship experience? And people said that, well, it is good to always learn from other people. So my publishing company, I met Chance Point, my publishers, Black Cap Books, which is one of the largest publishers in the world, fast-growing publishers in the world. And this gentleman by the name of Jerry Roberts actually said to me, Jack, you have a book inside you. You have a message that you have to share. How long have you been hiding or keeping the message? Honestly, I said, very long, 15 years. And he said, what? 15 years? No way. Go and write a freaking book. I don't care what it is, just write it. So because of his push, and I said, okay, what else can I actually write on my book? Well, why not I share the lessons, how I started a business and how I grow my business in the first 3 years. Well, it may not be then a very good business, at least I can share my lesson, which is my experience. And hopefully people who are wondering or pondering whether they should start a business or whether they can start a business, they can always read my book and get the lessons out of that. And it is a very easy read because my wife actually read this book once and she said to me it only took her 25 minutes. It's a very easy book to read. Summarize my 7 lessons of my first 3 years of entrepreneurship journey.
So now you're 6 years in, $2,000 an hour consulting, or 1,000 different professionals. Where do you see your business developing? Where are you taking your business in the future?
Well, tax is something that I will have to do it because I can't basically give it to somebody else because it's my forte. Mm-hmm. Having said that, I'm always interested in working with other people. Like for example, knowing or having been through this training industry for so long, and I have this idea of helping trainers, speakers, experts who have a message inside, but they do not know how to have this message come out, how to actually design a training program, and let alone how to actually stand on stage and close people and invite them to take up the offers in terms of product or services. So a part of me doing, especially this year, is to help a lot of experts who are really, really having the what I would call the ideas or this vision of standing on stage, helping and speak their messages, help them to actually come up with the structures and the documentation. Because as a lawyer, documentation is very easy for me to craft. Right. I learn how to craft the structure in terms of the program design, what to say, how to say, and the lessons they can actually give to the participants. So in this year, this is actually something that I'm focusing, which has nothing to do with tax. I have been using the same principles for my own tax programs, but now I'm actually contextualizing this skill and transfer it to whoever wanted to learn from me.
Very cool, very cool. Now you mentioned, your coach, your consultant, a number of times here. How important has your consultant been to you? Because you think somebody is a coach. Why do they need a coach to coach them? Talk to me about how important your consultants and your coaches have been in your business.
Well, I always said that we only know what we know. In other words, we don't know what we don't know. So I can actually Google all the information that I need, spending my sweet time. But you and I, Jamie, we have only 24 hours a day. I can't possibly Google all the information online, and hopefully I can get the info fast enough. Most of the time, if we can get someone who has already been there, have done what we are exploring what to do, and that will help us speed up our learning curve in a very short period of time. So that's why I said coaching is actually a way of speeding up our learning curve, help us get to the place that we want fast, quick, and efficient. And that's why I'm a very big fan and a firm believer of coaching.
Well, and they gave you the advice and the will to go from $200 to $2,000 an hour. So it's definitely was worth your investment. Who knows, if you didn't work with them, you maybe just still charging $200 an hour. It's a great lesson and great takeaway from the discussion here today. So Jack, H.M. Wong, got to wrap up the program. Any closing thoughts to leave our audience with? We got about a minute left.
To summarize my 3 years, the first 3 years of entrepreneurship journey, I've actually put this quote in my book: everyone can start a business. It doesn't matter how old you are. I started at the age of 42. So if you were below 42, you can always start your own business. It's not an issue. The question is, get coaching, get mentorship to learn things that other people have already done, to speed up your learning curve, and that's how you excel in your business. Not just surviving your business, but thriving and help a lot of people.
Very good discussion. So Jack H.M. Wong, thank you so much for being with me today.
Thanks, Jamie, once again for having me on the show.
Absolutely. And again, founder, senior managing partner with WHM Consulting, and you can learn more at his website, jackhmwong.com. New episodes again each weekday morning at 9 a.m. on thatbusinessnetwork.com, and connect with us all across social media. You'll find us on a variety of different platforms. So again, you've been listening to That Business Show 2.0. I'm your host, Jamie Maloney, where business becomes show business.